Yeah, we don't like...
We haven't done a gimmick show in a long time.
Maybe we'll just do a gimmick show for 300.
That could be good.
Yeah. You want me to start and stop the camera, just in case? You think we got it?
We got it.
Okay.
Because we might have to stop in the middle anyway. These could get long.
All right.
Hey, I'm Ned. I'm Dan.
And I'm Chaz, and this is Wine is Serious Business, episode 289.
Yes.
Got the number this time. We're here with 3 kind of weird wines from Oregon. I kind of wanted to get back and drink some... Well, we were doing Riesling in the past, but we've kind of been all over the place.
He's like, let's do Pinot tonight. I'm
I
like, no.
And so we are not anywhere near Pinot, but we've got 3 very interesting wines. One I know something about, the other 2 I know nothing about. So, we want to talk about your 2, or we'll start out with
the first wine. So.
Okay, so the first wine is, there's really no subject here. It's really just 3 strange wines, all being from Oregon.
That would be hard. Like, we're not going to do a trio of any of these, right?
So, right. Yeah. So
stick them together.
All right. So the first one we've got is the Analemma 2013 Atavus Gewurztraminer.
Nice.
From the Columbia Valley.
Well, this is going in the glass. We're going to start with shout-outs. We had a lot today. There's been a lot of good interaction lately.
Yeah.
Start out with Gina Tharp. She's always a good fan. Yeah, thanks for liking the photos and stuff like that. It's great. And then Brandon Johnson giving us some love on YouTube, saying he's sad that there are so few folks under 40 that are into wine, and that he loves what we're doing. So hopefully you keep enjoying watching the shows and
Thank
find
you
some
for
friends
watching
you
the
can
show.
drink with. Yeah, totally. We'll get to more shout-outs. Now we'll do one more. Brian Boisset would be my guest. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Also signed up, subscribe on YouTube. Welcome to the party, man. Hopefully you enjoy what you see.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
All right.
So this wine, I just went out to Analemma. Was going through the Columbia Valley, tasting it some places. Analemma blew me away. I mean, talk about a tasting. It's a cool tasting room, but just all of their wines are awesome. And I don't often buy Gewurztraminer, but was sort of struck by the 2 different vineyards they have, Oak Ridge and Atavus. I thought this would be kind of cool to do on the show. So that's where this wine came from.
Killer story. Super nice folks. I don't think anybody in the world is doing wine like they're doing.
True.
Right now. So if they're not on your radar, get them on there. They're really interesting folks, and the wines have been good, and the hype just kind of continues to grow. Yeah. So check this stuff out. We're excited to talk about it again.
They don't do that many wines, but their rosé consistently every year blows me away.
I can't wait to try the new
every time.
I can't wait to try it.
If you can get your hands on a bottle of their Pinot Noir rosé, you got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. 2013.
Correct.
Yeah. All right.
This wine makes me think of Thanksgiving. It almost reminds me of
cool.
Like sort of autumn aromas.
Sure.
Maybe I'm thinking of I just had a sweet potato, like baked sweet potato.
I can totally
thing.
see it. I wouldn't have gone there, but you're right.
A little bit of that aroma is in the nose. It's like a lightly sweet, sort of somewhat fruity, somewhat savory. I don't know.
A little bit of like perfumey, like floral thing, like a light note. It's not like like a heavy, yammy, squashy aroma I've had sometimes. Just like this hint of it. Got a little bit of that spice.
Maybe some breaching into sort of baked apples.
I was just thinking baked peaches, like a little bit of
You've got some nice fruitiness going on there, along with these sort of spicy, interesting other aromas. So yeah.
Nice and round in the mouth again. Mm-hmm. Not heavy,
great mouthfeel.
but still a good sense of richness to it. Actually gets a little more full as it goes on towards the finish.
Mm-hmm. Killer acid too. Sort of does this. It's somewhere in between medium weight and lightweight. Like it doesn't have any sort of weight on the palate, but it's got a lot of texture. Mm-hmm. Again, definitively fruity, but again with sort of a. Maybe I'm just being biased because of having this sweet potato thing that it's still stuck in my head, but it's like very it's got fruitiness, but it's got some savory, sort of sweetly spicy undertones. Interesting. So
the texture to me is really like a big fleshy pear. That's totally right, not overripe, but getting kind of close. Just good mouthfuls of that kind of sweet, fuller fruit, kind of like an apple, and there's this really nice like bright and light fruit component that comes with the acidity that just sits on the middle of the palate there. Provides some really good contrast, and I think without it, the wine would be a lot less interesting. But I really like what that brings. I totally agree that spicy notes on the finish. So
yeah, it's almost. Well, I wouldn't go there, but I agree with your pear, like the sort of pear fruit, baked apple fruit, stone fruitiness, absolutely, like peaches. Yeah, little peaches. No, this is so tasting this at the tasting room. I will say that this is the first Gewurztraminer I've ever purchased.
Oh, nice.
So I liked it a lot. They got a cool story too. If you go there and taste, you'll get to try their Oak Ridge and Atavus Gewurztraminer side by side. It's a cool experience. So this is totally like an 89 to 90 point wine for me. I find I like the complexity. I really like the mouthfeel and texture. Like it's somewhere between refreshing and then as well like complex and a lot to think about. Really wish I had this at Thanksgiving. Actually, now like this would have been a great wine to eat with that sort of, or to drink with that sort of fare. Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to me that really like jumps out of the glass and really grips you. So it's more of a cerebral experience to me. I think if you were just drinking it fast, kind of caught up in conversation, not thinking about it too much, that you'd kind of miss the best of it. That's really a wash, like, well, in some ways I even kind of prefer that, but definitely be aware of it. If you're drinking it, it's something you kind of got to think about, but they give you a lot to think about. Interesting story, like we were talking about. So, yeah, 88 plus for me. Really solid stuff. A lot of good things going on. Enjoyable. If you're looking for a Gewurztraminer, it's a great one to check out. And I look forward to trying more stuff from these guys, as always.
Yeah, I don't even know if this is like typical Gewurztraminer because I don't typically drink Gewurztraminer.
It comes in such a range, man. I love it.
This is one where I liked it. I was like, this is good.
Yeah. And this really kind of speaks to, I think, where it can get good when you get into some of those, like, the contrast between the richer and lighter tones. There's definitely a tendency for it to be a desserty style. Sometimes get a little flabby, a little too heavy. Sometimes get a little alcoholic. All of these, it can be a little bitter sometimes too. Like when Viognier goes a little wrong. Like people will do that with Gewurz as well, and I don't feel it. But the good ones, I'm a big fan of. I've really enjoyed a few.
All right.
Cool.
So tell me about the second wine.
Wine number 2. This is Golden Cluster. This very like involved project from Jeff Vare. His first wine under this label. He's getting some old Semillon from the David Hill Vineyard. This is the oldest Semillon in the Pacific Northwest, almost certainly. David Hill Vineyard was planted in 1965, so a huge score. He makes the wine with Chad Stock of Minimus. For those of you who know, this is like the cutting edge of like nerdy natural wine. Definitely in Oregon and maybe in a broader sense too, but Chad's really known for high quality, and Jeff and Chad have been working really closely to make a fantastic project out of this. This is hand numbered, bottle number 2668 out of 572.
That's love.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Totally. Just a ton of research. Definitely some time on the skins to kind of really bring some flavor out.
Yeah, so to say the wine is like almost cloudy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And everything in the labels kind of like a toss back to the David Hill Vineyards. Everything on the labels like a toss back to David Hill Vineyards, planted by Chuck Coury, and this is kind of inspired by the Coury's original label, and Coury used Golden Cluster as his reserve designate, so it's kind of a tribute to that too.
It's a cool label.
Yeah,
I gotta admit, it's a sweet package. So.
Yeah, all kinds of cool stuff going on. If you want to know more about Jeff, a blog with a French name that I'm going to mispronounce, Le Cave de Pirenne. That's what I'm going to go with. I'll put a link to it in the thing. Did a killer 2-part interview with him. Definitely go check it out. I've been really excited to get a hold of this wine and share it with you guys. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So this is 2013 as well. Yeah.
Yeah, 100% Semillon, and unfortunately just sold out. So if you from the winery anyway, so if you see it on the shelf somewhere, snap it up. If you see it on a restaurant list, snap it up. He says the 14s aren't too far behind, but this is wine number 1, right?
572 bottles. That is not many.
Not many. No.
That is not many bottles. So, all right. So the nose here kind of reminded me more of honeycomb,
a little bit of nutmeg.
The fruit aromas reminding me of something like, I mean, it's not, it's sort of like lemon limey, but it's not that. It's
a little citrus, yeah.
But it's more, it's like something else, like kiwi or something, or like, I don't know. The initial fruit tone there that I was smelling, the aroma is like
a little earthy, and there's a great sense of complexity to it. It really pulls you back. The nose pulls you back in, keeps you thinking. Yeah,
high toned aromas of fruit, then like definitely a honeyed characteristic, a honeyed aroma, somewhat like almost rich smelling, but not like oak Chardonnay rich. Like
right, Semillon definitely pushes towards dessert wine a lot. This isn't suggesting that on the nose.
Not that at all. No.
Good round feeling on contact.
Yeah, texture
definitely full
awesome.
wine. Oh man.
Yeah.
Like you can definitely tell where there's been kind of experience with that skin contact on the whites, where it really stays full on the palate, kind of branches out towards the back, and some tannins start settling in gently to the back, but it never gets too heavy. It never stays bitter or harsh on the mid palate.
So for here the citrus tones or citrus flavors are definitely stronger, right? Reminding me a little more of like lemon lime fruit. Maybe like really young stone fruitiness as well, but the kind of like the tannins in the tail end of the finish are a really interesting touch. Great acid throughout the entire experience, and sort of what I've experienced with like I would say almost like a Marsanne Roussanne or something in the past, where the texture is weighty, without being like you know what I mean, like without feeling like overdone.
And I feel like it's a tightrope because it wouldn't take much to if the acidity were a little less or whatever, it could get really awkward.
Yeah.
Right, or if that little bit of tannic structure wasn't there, it could be.
The body here is really cool.
Yeah.
The way the weight interacts with the mouth, it's awesome.
For the record, the two whites were chilled down a little bit, maybe right around cellar temp, and these were all open. A few minutes before the show, we took a little pour to check for cork and stuff like that, but haven't been open terribly long.
Wow.
Oh. And it's got this sense of life to it that reminds me of some other minimus wines that I've had that are really just engaging and kind of exciting as the fruit flavors like kind of evolve. It has just this bright feel on the mid palate that kind of keeps pulling you back into it. I'm really feeling it.
Yep. The finish to me is like the citrus components are all still there very strongly. It's almost like a little bit sour in the finish too.
Sure.
But in a good way. But I like sour candy and sour beers and everything else.
Yep.
I dig that flavor. Tannins are relaxed, but it's like it's strange. They're not settling so much in the cheeks. It's more like in the back of the mouth.
Yeah, totally.
Fun wine.
It's great,
really
like,
delicious.
Peachy, melony, like rich flavors without weight that kind of show up on the back end of it too. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah, like sort of like a green melon, melon or something. Anyway,
yeah,
cool.
Easy to drink, fun stuff, right? Like super natural, committed to the site, committed to the expression of the grapes, committed to the history. If you like all of that stuff, this is definitely a wine to look for. If you can't find the 13s, like I said, get on the website, get on the mailing list. The 14s are coming soon. What do we do? 90 plus here for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
89 or 90 points.
Yeah.
Another very intellectual, interesting wine. I think anyone could like it though. Like oftentimes we'll get into nerdy wines where it's like they're kind of more nerdy, not so much immediately pleasing. This is completely fun to drink, super refreshing, but at the same point has like a lot of interesting characteristics that will make just about anybody happy.
Totally. What the heck? 91. Jeff hates points. I know. I'm so sorry we do this.
Your wine's delicious,
when it
Jeff.
comes up, but
There's the points.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Highly recommended. Yeah.
All right, last
one. A lot of fun. This is another guy that he gets taken off of the shout-outs list because we're doing his wine on the show. But Corey Schuster, another guy I've known from around town. He's been doing Jackalope for a few years. Super friendly guy. Got into wine as a second career, which is kind of a cool story. Glad to see it working out for him. Kind of cut a name for himself as a Cab Franc guy. Tough thing to do in Pinot Noir country. He's been really working the Pinot Noirs lately. Trying to bring some more quality bottles out, great prices on all of that stuff. But there's a great article written on him a while back for his Cab Franc, and he's one. If you want to work with Cab Franc, he's one of the guys in town you'd go talk to. I think we have kind of neglected that. I was excited to see a bottle on a shelf recently, picked it up, and we got to get this on a show eventually. So
sweet.
So today's the day. 2014 Cab Franc. This is from the Quady North Vineyards. I'm going to double check myself here. Yeah, Quady North Vineyards in the Apogee Valley. One of the big Southern Oregon producers that's sending a lot of fruit up here to a lot of these small winemakers. So come check it out. Got some hibiscus here and a little bit of blackberry bramble that reminds me of Cab Sauv actually, which I'm probably I'm just sniffing the Cab Franc influence in Cab Sauv blends. When I say that, I don't know. But that's what it reminds me of, however you cut it. A little bit of currants.
It says it was fermented in oak barrels, or aged 11 months in oak barrels, but it doesn't say anything about new oak. It doesn't smell oaky.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of it on there, if any. Yeah.
There's a peppery sort of aroma that reminds me of sometimes barrel toast can provide that, right? It sort of smells like charred wood a little bit, but that's not there, and there's none of the sort of aromas that come with a new oak wine, right?
Right, right. Some good blackberry and raspberry stuff going on too. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, the blackberry sort of the fruity components of this are really nice. This smells good.
Yeah. Nice stuff. And I think the fruit makes a quick entry. I'm getting brighter red cherries and raspberries up front. A little bit different than what you'd expect from Cab Franc. A lot of Cab Francs are in that really dark, heavy style. This definitely has some weight to it, but starts out brighter.
This sort of almost feels like you were saying it's tough making Cab Franc in Pinot country. Mm-hmm. This almost feels like a Cab Franc made in a Pinot Noir style. It's soft. This is super. I mean, I know if my mom was here, she'd be like, "This is so smooth." Right?
Nice. Yeah.
And that's totally. You could say that about this wine. Cab Franc for me typically is not a wine I drink very often, just because it's usually a very big wine. This has also got sort of strong flavors, but it's done in a really soft. They approach the palate in a soft, gentle way.
Yeah.
I really like this. The tannic structure of it is super mellow. They're there. I had to take a second sip real quick, and they're okay, are they present? Yes, they're still gripping the cheeks, but the dusty sort of really soft feel to them is really nice.
Yeah, he said there's a little bit of whole cluster here. So that definitely contributes some to the structure. I feel like the acidity and the tannins definitely make their presence known on the finish. I'm shocked at how well integrated it is.
Yeah.
Right now, I would not. I mean, I guess
this is delicious.
We're about ready to wrap up 2015, but even still, right? Cab Franc can be a little tough to get through, and this baby's ready right now. This is tasting really good.
Freaking awesome, yeah.
And similar, I'll say to this, I'm getting a really nice burst of kind of fruit and floral components right on the mid palate.
Yes.
That
as soon as the wine's swallowed.
Yeah, give you that little bit of excitement.
Right up, yeah. And really sort of ends cherry fruited, blackberry fruited, almost a little black licorice-y sort of thing as the wine finishes.
I can see it. Yeah.
But no sort of a lot of, I guess. What is it? Red wine can sometimes end with a tart edge or some sort of tart finish.
Sure.
Especially when they're young. This does not have any of that in the finish, at least for me. So, really easy to drink, really gentle wine.
And I'm going to guess, Corey, I bet you'll see the show, and I'd love to see your comments on this. I'm going to guess that there's at least one new oak barrel involved here. I feel like I could taste just a little bit of that richness edging in. It's not dominant, so I'd be really surprised to hear that there's none.
Tasting some wood grain?
Just tiny bit, and in a way that I like it too.
Yeah.
But you never
really
know.
Nice. Yeah,
it'd be fun to hear if maybe that's just from, maybe there's no new oak and that's all from the whole cluster or whatever. But this is
it's not a strong influence. It's a very well integrated influence. Yeah. That's a really solid Cab Franc.
This would have been another great one for the Thanksgiving table too, right?
Totally. Yeah. This is a wine that would go really well with food, not be the centerpiece. And I appreciate that when I drink wine with food. So this is. And
a wide appeal, like you said, it's smooth, man. A lot of people in the business do heavy like a lot of alcohol stuff really hate the descriptor smooth. I've got beef with you if you have a problem with that word, because after doing this for quite a few years, even I taste wines that are not smooth and I regularly hold it against them. And everybody's got to start somewhere, right? Using a descriptor is a good place to be.
I know I've heard kickback in the industry about that word.
Yeah.
Right, why is that? Industry people, why is it? I would like to know.
Yeah,
honestly,
we'll find out. Maybe that's
negative
thing to say. We'll stay dumb.
Yeah, but this wine is smooth. It's really fun to drink, really easy to drink. If you're not someone who typically likes Cab Franc, you would probably really like this. I just like it in the general stance of like that it's delicious wine. Point wise, another 88 to 89 point wine. This isn't as, I feel, as complex as the other two wines.
I'm with you on that.
Definitely just fruit. Like, what strikes me more about this is the structure, the integration, and the flavor. Just it's a little less complex.
And there's more complexity than I expect from a Cab Franc at this price point.
Yeah.
Also,
I feel like we're going down the line just saying the same thing about the points, but
it's all right.
Yeah, but as someone who doesn't typically appreciate Cab Francs, I find this delicious.
Right. 89 points for me. Definitely check it out, man. I mean, if you're a lover of Cab Franc, try something new. I think these are all about 30.
Okay.
Give or take, totally. Right? It depends on what retailer you get it by, whatever.
Totally reasonable.
Yeah, right in that neighborhood. I feel good at all of them at that price. Like that's not the like sweet deal, like super entry level stuff, but
sure.
But all of these wines have like good stories, good intention behind it, a little bit of experience behind them. Yeah, and I think, I don't mind paying a little bit for that, and I think they all deliver really well at that price point.
Agreed.
Too.
Yeah, for sure. So,
more shout outs.
Yeah, I say you got to do shout outs.
Yeah,
I am sort of sitting here going.
Yeah, tell a story. Okay, shout outs.
Stories.
These are all we did the YouTube shout outs. We did the Chaz's mom shout out. Shout out to Jim Johnson, my dad. He watched the show from time to time. Maybe he'll see this. Preston Schramm went out and checked it. He's the guy I believe that picked up. Yeah, picked up some of that recently. Yeah, Preston. Man, that's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed that wine. I'm glad our show let you experience. Yeah, it was good stuff.
That wine was good stuff. Awesome for going out and picking it up.
Matt Wolf, thanks again for sitting down on the show with us. Brian Lang, Paul Willenberg, Mark Schmidt, Jerusha giving us some likes. Glenn Beanstalk, Ron Feldhoven, old school fans
and
sticking with us.
John Moser,
old school. Yeah. One of the oldest.
Come back out to Oregon.
Yeah. Come hang out. It'll be a good time. Right. Question of the day.
I didn't even think about it 4 times.
Question. I know. I'm going to even bet that more people that watch this show did go out and do some wine tasting over the weekend surrounding Thanksgiving than didn't. So get in on the comments, David Paris. I'm talking about you, Bo.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about you. Everybody whose wines we did on the show, I'm talking about you. Let us know what you tasted and loved over the weekend. Did you get out at all?
Yeah,
you were in Southern Oregon. You were hitting it hard.
I was down in Roseburg staying with my parents for the show for the weekend. Chaz's been drinking wine.
Yeah.
And yeah, got out to a whole bunch of places with my parents. Had a great time. Some people just getting off the ground. It's cool. Southern Oregon is just starting to find its. How do you say it? There's definitely some established wineries, but there's a lot of mom and pops that are still like making wine in a barn. Yeah. And sometimes they're terrible, and sometimes they're really fun.
But man, and when the magic happens in a scenario like that, it's so exciting.
Absolutely. So, what'd you do?
My shop, boy, I visited quite a few places. Had a really nice day out. A lot of them are places that I know and respect, and you kind of know are going to be good before I go there. Timothy Malone, I tasted his. We did his 2012 on the show quite some time ago. Tasted his 13s. Liked it. He's one of the small wineries. Maybe you haven't heard of. I wanted to throw the name out there. Keep your eye out. Keep your eye out on his stuff. It's going to be good. So I think it'd be interesting to watch. I look forward to trying more. So we look forward to hearing your picks. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Please tell us where should we go next year, or where did you go? What was your favorite? So.
Yeah. Cheers.
We'll see you guys next time.